Research has shown that we can reduce the pace of heart disease, depression, and cancer with a sense of compassion and help. Researchers have concluded this by studying the effects of kindness on depressed students. Researchers say that the feeling of collaborating with each other is our innate ability. If you are not kind and do not take pity on yourself, it will be difficult for others to do the same. This feeling is so powerful that it increasingly affects the surrounding people. People who watched videos that evoked a sense of pity were more generous in helping people who did not communicate face to face with the needy. That's why we show kindness. Actually, when people get some kind of emotional boost, then they become more social and compassionate. We start worrying for that person by going through emotional situations. When people have more interactions among themselves, we become more compassionate due to the emotional impact of each other. So why do we hesitate to help? Study after study confirms that altruism not only makes us happier, but actually improves our health. Yet, we see a stranger struggle and still pass by. It was pouring rain at the bus stop, but under my umbrella was dry. A man ran toward the stop, then he stood next to me, head down and hands in his pockets. A part of me wanted to ask this stranger if he'd like to share my umbrella. Another part of me, however, didn't want to stand that close to someone I didn't know. I argued with myself for seconds and then minutes. Eventually the bus came and so did my guilt. As I sat on that bus and stared at that poor wet man, I couldn't help but obsess. I knew about the healing powers of kindness, generosity, and altruism. On a spiritual level, I believe that world peace came from individual acts of kindness and generosity. So why had I hoarded that umbrella? Why was my urge to help overpowered by my urge to not help? And why do people fail to do good? According to Darwin's theory of evolution and the survival of the fittest, the strongest survive to pass on their genes to the next generation. This is why even today, our brains give us a rewarding hit of joy when we help others. Kindness is our genetic imperative that has been there for millions of years. When you look at humans and animals, science shows that it is the kindest and most cooperative who survived long term. The cruel and ruthless might get a short-term gain, but cruelty and ruthlessness are not good solutions for a species to survive. Countless studies show that helping others boosts levels of happiness-producing brain chemicals, providing a powerful rush of emotional coziness known as helper's high. And this generosity-induced mood boost is contagious. The mood boost, sense of connection, and stress reduction we get from giving translate into better health. Doing good have shown to help with these things. When patients with chronic pain help others, their pain diminishes. Some participants held a weight longer in the gym if doing so allowed them to raise money for a charity versus raising money for themselves. Alcoholics who help others are twice as likely to stay on the wagon of sobriety. Altruistic teens were more likely to go on to graduate from college and have more successful careers than teens who were more self-focused. Doing good can have as big as an impact on your health as eating healthy foods and exercising. Volunteering probably reduces mortality by a year and a half or possibly up to 2 years for people who are in their senior years, says Stephen G. Post, a professor of preventive medicine at Stony Brook University School of Medicine and the author of The Hidden Gifts of Helping and Why Good Things Happen to Good People. If you could put the benefits of helping others into a bottle and sell it, you could be a millionaire in a minute. So it's not surprising that we often feel compelled to help others. Here's why we sometimes stand by and do nothing. The same neurological wiring that rewards us for doing good can also penalize us when our reptilian instincts sense we're about to do good for the wrong people. For thousands of years, humans survived by forming tribes, alliances, and communities. They protected and nurtured their neighbors, but they pillaged, enslaved, and murdered outsiders. As a result, our fight-or-flight response gets stripped. Whenever we're around people we perceive as different, whether they are of a different race, class, nationality, or political party. We're conditioned to think that life is about pursuing and getting what we want, but the secret to happiness actually lies in giving and not in getting. Interestingly, much of what we assume will make us happy provides us very little happiness at all. Research consistently shows that spending money on ourselves, whether it's to get the newest smartphone or go on a great vacation, results in mild and fleeting happiness at best. But spending even a small amount on others produces a potent and lasting sense of joy. The more rushed we feel, the less likely we are to make time for others too. Yet making time for others, paradoxically, makes us feel as if we have more time for ourselves. In one of the tests, a group of college students were asked to spend the last 15 minutes of a class editing essays for at-risk high school students. The other students were let out of class 15 minutes early. The students who donated their time editing essays later reported feeling as if they had more free time, while the students who were given 15 minutes off felt much more time-starved. People consistently expect to feel more stressed and more harried and have less time if they spend some of their precious hours on someone else. In reality, people who spend time on others realize they can get more done by doing something meaningful for someone else. Try these tips to harness the helper's high. Imagine helping someone else. Thinking about being good makes you feel good, and feeling good makes you more likely to want to do good. Maximize the high. Your brain gives you a bigger emotional reward if you help someone face to face than if you simply write a check and put it in an envelope. And the rush lasts longer if you summarize your helping experience either by telling someone about it or writing about it in a journal. Start small. Help just one person a day for 5 minutes a day. Look for what you have in common. Perhaps you root for the same team, want the best for your kids, or ultimately want the same from life, which is happiness. Once you notice a commonality, you can break down the barriers that separate you. I like to think of goodness as a muscle that I strengthen with use. The more good I do, the better I feel. The better I feel, the more good I'm capable of doing. Sometimes it's a 2 steps forward, 1 step back journey, but it gets easier and easier over time. Not long ago, for instance, I was at the very same bus stop with the same umbrella. The stranger politely declined, pulling out his own umbrella from a briefcase. We shared a moment of connection, and as I boarded the bus that day, I did so with a smile. I got an interesting call from a friend who said, "It feels like I give so much and help people a lot, but get nothing in return. I'm considering to stop helping people, but I don't want to risk losing my friends." I remembered how much I struggled with this. When I was a kid, I helped my friends because I was tech savvy, and I remember how painful it was when they just took it for granted. On the other hand, to just stop helping people is a surefire way to lose your friends. When you help people the right way, you'll get a ton of benefits in life. If you feel that person don't value your help, let your friends know that you enjoy helping them. But don't say things like, "It's nothing, I didn't have anything to do anyway," or "I need nothing back, I just think it's fun to help." You don't have to turn down on what you did. Instead, say something like, "I'm glad to help. I think this will turn out great." Help people with things they would struggle to do themselves that are easy for you. For example, if you're great at math and someone is asking for 5 minutes of your time to solve a problem, don't hesitate to help that person out. Don't help people with things they could have done themselves with the same effort as you. If someone would have asked me for something because they were too lazy to do it themselves, I would simply ask if there's a specific reason why they can't do it. Help people with things that are easy for you to help them, and don't be afraid to ask for things in return. If you've paid for the last lunch, the next one's on your friend. If you help someone with their math, it's just natural that they help you out with another subject. If they don't want to help you back, make sure that you don't keep doing them favors. Don't let yourself be treated like a doormat. If it feels like you always give more than you get back, bring it up with them. As long as you do it in a friendly tone, it will be great for your friendship. And if it turns out badly, it most likely wasn't a friendship worth salvaging. Avoid offering favors as a way to make friends. It's dangerous to help people as a strategy for making friends or being accepted. One example of this can be thinking, if I help these people out, they'll like me more. If someone doesn't appreciate hanging out with you, they might feel obligated to because they owe you one, or they might even start avoiding you. Make sure that people are your friends because they like being around you, not because you provide them with services. It's natural that people get used to your help if they know that you are always there for them. The only way for them to know that something has changed for you is to tell them. Avoid helping friends who give nothing back. Some people use their friends and never give anything back. Avoid these people and don't let them take away your faith in others. You can still be their friend and be friendly toward them, but if they ask you for a favor, bring up with them that you feel that you give more than you get back. Perhaps you feel that you might lose friends if you turn them down, and that you can't afford to lose them. Having too few friends puts you in a vulnerable spot that can make you needier and more likely to be taken advantage of. It can be a good idea to socialize and make new friends so that your old ones don't own you. Be generous and help those who appreciate it. If you follow these rules and avoid helping those who don't give back, those who remain won't take your help for granted. Instead, they will look up to you because you're in power to help them. They will see you as a generous person, which is attractive. Good friends will offer to help you out in return. Make it a habit to take people's help whenever they offer it to you. It can feel uncomfortable to accept help, but when people give help to someone, they like that person more. However, when people receive help from someone, they don't like that person more. This is called the Benjamin Franklin effect. People who have a hard time saying no often feel like they have to over-explain and over-apologize. Simply saying, "I'm sorry, I don't have the time, hope you'll be able to solve it," is often enough. If saying no is hard for you, make it your mission to say no more often. Be alert of feelings of resentment or discomfort. Those feelings are a good indication that something's wrong. Ask yourself, why am I feeling these feelings? Improve your self-esteem if you feel that you're not worthy of change. Sometimes we have a bad relationship with ourselves. It can help to be more self-compassionate. In practice, this is done by changing the way you talk to yourself. Instead of saying, "I messed up and I suck," try saying, "I made a mistake, it is human to make a mistake, and it's likely that I'll do better next time." Over time, changing the way you talk to yourself changes the way you see yourself. A therapist can help you to change your self-talk. Don't expect people to understand your situation unless you explain it to them. If you feel stressed, overworked, taken advantage of, or taken for granted, don't expect people to understand that unless you explicitly tell them. If you feel like people don't understand your situation, explain it to them in clear and specific terms. It can be very easy to repeat old patterns and start overhelping new people as a way to get approval. If it's been a pattern of your life, it's good to reflect on how you can change that pattern. Remind yourself that the power is in your hands. It's easy to feel powerless when you feel taken advantage of, but remember that you are responsible for your life situation. If you don't like the way something is in your life, you are the only person who can change it. This can be a harsh way to view life, but it's also empowering. How do you feel about helping others and asking for help? I am looking forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, I'm sure you will enjoy my other video essays. Thank you for watching. Like this video if you liked it. My name is Sai, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.